Thursday, we've got, if anything, if we're ever going to say it couldn't be simpler, it's got to be for this one. But just to, let me get to Spartan CrossFit instead of main site. Just to sort of unpack what the backpack stuff is all about, we've got 4 miles for time for the run. There's a few different courses that Spartan has mapped out. We've got the 400 meter, the 1300 meter to the end of the road near the hot house and back. So what would that be? 6,400, I think. I'm pretty sure it's 6,400 meters. So, well, let's see. We all know. Let's see, 6,400. 13. Of course, it's not even. It's almost 5. So 52. What? Oh, it was 6,400. Oh, wow. So it's 1,200 shy. So maybe the simplest way. That was just a bunch of rambling. Good grief. It's such a long day. Yeah, so you could do, what did I say? 4 full 1300s. It's 100. Whoops. Yeah, it's 100 meters too far. So if you want to eyeball that and stop 50 meters shy of 27, that would be, you'd be good to go. So if you want to do a full 5 trips down the road there, that's 4 miles. I know the 5K route is, that's just a whole lot of figuring out also. So I think doing 4 1,300 trips and then if you want to do 3 400s after that, that's probably the path of least resistance. Or just do 5 1,300s and then stop just shy of the road. Maybe we can mark that out at some point tomorrow and just give a landmark to where to stop and turn around at. As far as the 3 mile ruck is a little different than a weight vest in that the weight vest is going to place weight on the front and the back, the anterior chain and the posterior chain, whereas the ruck, it's going to be centered kind of mid posterior chain, so it's going to be in a pack. So it's kind of like hiking. If you were to hike a trail or a mountain or whatever, but you had gear that you were going to camp with or something, it'd be in your pack. So 50 and 30 maybe are the loads for the ruck. So if you have a backpack, especially a big backpack, like one of those sort of like tactical style backpacks that have all the Velcro on them and stuff like that. We have a few of them that were given to us at the CrossFit Games over the years. But they're really convenient because they can fit like 10-pound plates in there. And that's really what you want. Is you want something that's going to take up a pretty big footprint. You don't want something that's just going to be sitting at the bottom of the bag, kind of bouncing off of your tailbone or something like that the entire trip. So if you have a backpack and you want to ruck, that's great. If you're trying to do something similar to the ruck and you have a weight vest, that can be a good alternative. But again, it's just not going to be exactly similar because it's going to be loaded uniformly from the front to the back, and the ruck is just going to be pulling you sort of out of a prime, like an optimal run position. As far as 3 miles, 4,800. Let's see. Yeah, okay, 1,300 times 3. So that's a bit more. So 3 is going to give you 3,900, and it's 4,800 meters for the 3 miles. What did I say? So that's 900. Wow. So we do have the 800 course, and we do have we have a 5K course. That's a little bit more than 3 miles, though. Some of these distances are really tough. So the first question you need to ask is how redundant or repetitive or whatever do you want this workout, this run to be. In one way, shape, or form, you're either going to wind up, having to sort of track your run via Apple Watch or something, or you're going to have to do either a little bit more or a little bit less than what it's calling for, just sort of based on what we have mapped out. Or we can certainly do to a T, but it's going to require doing a little bit of figuring out what the optimal way for you to do it is. And in this case, it would be 3 of the 1,300 1,300 runs, and then you would be, what would we say, 900 short? So, I mean, you could do 3 300s, which is to the corner and back. So not the 400s where you run to the trees, but if you ran from the front door of the gym to the corner, to that street that you would turn to go to the 400 and back, and you did that 3 times, that's 900. I mean, there are definitely there are alternatives. We have an 800 meter mark mapped out. There are alternatives. I think we even have a mile. And so all of those are options. Just trying to, I don't love getting super far from home, so to speak. When I do runs, I like to run far distances, but I prefer kind of I would almost prefer to run like a half marathon around a track instead of going out and coming back. So, if I get like a stitch or something like halfway through the run, I'll just never run ever again. Unless I'm close to home. And I just think that the 1,300 meter one, you're really only 100 meters away when you're at the hot house road, because you could always cut back across 27, and like I said, it's only 100 or 200 meters. It's just that when you run around that road, gets covers a little bit more ground.